Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your host, Will. Yeah, I know. It's been a while since I did a video, but I have good reason for slipping. Um, Unfortunately, we are living in a pandemic, and then there is the issue of actually catching the disease, which is what happened with me, my mom, my dad, my wife. Man, it's been a long month. And well, let you know that we are recovered. And my mom is still kind of a little touch and go. My dad is pretty much fully recovered. My wife is fully recovered, but I have an underlying condition. My dad had underlying conditions. My mom has underlying conditions. Praise God that my wife didn't have any and she didn't really get it as bad as the rest of us. And she's pregnant, so that's a double blessing. So no effect on the kid because, as you know, if you don't listen to the liberal media, kids really don't get it, and babies in the womb don't really get an effect from the virus. So we were blessed. It was touch and go for me too. It hit me pretty hard. I spent a few days in the hospital, so it was rough. It was rough, but I recovered. I'm here doing a video talking to you guys. In the meantime, I've had we are doing well. Baby Ethan is doing well, and yeah, that's I'm gonna have a boy, a little son, a little me running around here. And I tell you, I when I was laying in that hospital bed, it was rough. It was real rough, and I was thinking about a lot of stuff. And you reevaluate things when you're really sick, especially when you have a child on the way, you're married, you got a household to take care of, and this is some trying times. So, you know, when I'm sitting there and I'm dealing with these whole politics thing, it really made me think about what's important. Um, and what's important is family. And how can I make my family stronger? How can I protect them? How can I provide for them? But mostly, how can I protect them? What can I do to make sure they have a safe environment that they can prosper and grow? I know a lot of you guys out there probably have that same thought. Like, what can you do to make your family safe and prosper? I'm the same way, but it really put it in perspective when I was sick. And I know that there's this whole COVID thing, and believe me, people, the virus is real. Now, we all recover, except for my mother, like I said. So it is recoverable. It's not a death sentence like a liberal media would like to tell you and all this kind of stuff. The doctors I talked to, the nurses and everything, they all confirm what we all know, that yes, a lot more people are going to get sick than other people, but 99.8% of people do recover. So it's a slow process for a lot of people. It's been a little slow process for me, i.e., me not making a lot of videos, losing subscribers, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a real thing. And a lot of what the media have told you about COVID is absolute lies. When I talk to the doctors, a lot of doctors even told me they were even scared to give you that HCQ, the stuff they can actually, because they were afraid to lose their license. I mean, I found out a lot of stuff. I have to do a video just on what doctors told me and nurses told me while I was in the hospital. It will blow your mind about how devious the liberals and the progressives are, and how scared medical professionals are to go against the narrative. It's absolutely insane. These people are complete and utter evil. We truly are at war. We are at war. We may not be firing bullets. Well, we'll talk about that guy in a minute, that Kyle guy in Kenosha. But we have been in a cold war with the Democrats and the progressives for about 12 years now, ever since Barack Obama took office in 2008. We have been at a cold war. Unfortunately, it looks like the war is going to heat up. As you can see in Kenosha, as you can see around the country, in Portland, Seattle, Kenosha, Minneapolis, Chicago, New York. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. And I think finally the American people are starting to wake up. We just had both the RNC and the DNC the week before conventions, nominations for president. If you watch the Democratic National Committee, and I watched it, and it was dreary, it was apocalyptic, and it was mean, and it was full of falsehoods and half-truths and misinformation. It was communist and socialist. Well, it was socialist, and then you could tell they wanted to move into communism. I mean, you literally had people take under God out of the pledge. You had people talk about they want to destroy capitalism while they're on Zoom using an iPhone. I mean, it's absolutely stunning, the hypocrisy, but yet the evil intent, and also the pure stupidity of those who are of the progressive persuasion. It is absolutely stunning how just totally idiotic the people who vote Democrat are. And I'm not going to say all of them, but a huge majority, to be so gullible to believe the BS that comes out of that mouths of people like Pelosi and Schumer and AOC and her little punk ass squad. I mean, but they know the average American doesn't know a lot. We've talked about this before, a lot about civics. They don't know a lot about social. They didn't take a lot of social studies courses. They don't know how our government works, how the mechanisms that were set by our forefathers work. They either don't have the time with soccer practice and all that kind of stuff, or just didn't pay attention when they were in high school and junior high school and elementary school. So the Democrats did this on purpose. We're going to talk about education at one point, because the Democrats want us to be in public failing schools to keep you dumb so they can misinform you so that you can get hyped. Because see, the Democrats make people vote on emotion. That's what you saw in their Democratic National Convention. It was all about emotion. Hate. That was the main emotion. Hate. Hate for Donald Trump. If you hate Donald Trump, we don't have any ideas. We don't have a policy. We don't have any policies. We don't have any ideas. We don't have anything to give you, or to show you what we're going to do. But all we know is we hate Donald Trump, and we hope you hate him enough too to vote against him. That's all they talked about. It was a dreary, sorry, just horribly produced, and they have Hollywood on their side. They should have blew it out the water. It should have been slick, imaginative, innovative. They even got all the tech people like Facebook, Google, Amazon. Everybody's on their side, but it looked like something a high schooler put together for a book report in some failing public school. It was horrible. But then you look at the RNC bringing out real people, amazing speeches. Just last night, Ann Dorn. Oh my God, the wife of slain police chief David Dorn. For real? That tugged at your heart and your soul, if you have one. But a lot of progressives don't. I mean, and because you should have heard what they were saying about this widow on Twitter. And these were professional Blue Marks reporters who were supposed to be journalists talking about a widow and a slain black man. But they talk about Black Lives Matters. What a bunch of bullshit that is. So it's just amazing to me that these people get away with this crap. Literally, they talked about a widow. I mean, pure evil. We are at war. We really are. And so you have to say to yourself, which side of this battle do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side of the battle of this war, a bunch of people who hate your country, who hate you for just being alive, having less melanin than somebody else or more melanin? And if you got more melanin, if you don't think the same way like I do, you're an Uncle Tom, you're a Sambo, you're a sellout, you're everything that they don't want you to be. If you're not everything they want you to be, then you don't exist. They want to cancel you. But the RNCs was full of hope, love for America, love for the individual to bring themselves up. The programs I keep up with politics, and what I saw that Trump has done in the last 4 years, a lot of that I didn't even know. And I follow politics. I'm a political junkie. And there are a lot of programs out there that I was like, wow, Trump, he did that? I was blown away. And just showing the real side of somebody that you don't really get to see because the press is so in the tank for the Democrats. It's really their propaganda news wing. To see what he has done for this country, not what he says on Twitter, not what he says in his exaggerations and his lies about himself, because you know a guy like that who's a showman, a guy who like that who has been larger than life for the last 40 years is going to exaggerate, he's going to lie a little bit. But what makes it so cool is that he didn't lie about his policies. He literally did what he promised in the campaign. And then COVID hit and kind of derailed the situation. But for the most part, he's doing what he said he was going to do. And that's rare, super rare in a politician, let alone a president. So I can kind of forgive some of the things he said because I'm looking at what he's done. Because I've always believed actions definitely speak louder than words. So, because look at the last 8 years of Obama. He give you beautiful rhetoric. He give you the soaring poster of him looking out into the sky with his hand to God. Well, he's God. So his hand to himself and saying, look at what I have done. I am your great Messiah. I have come down on high to recede the tide and bring feast to famine because I am the great Barack Obama. Barack Obama. So that bullshit. So, you know, he gave you a lot of pretty words, a lot of great posters, but he ain't do shit. He didn't do nothing. Nothing but slow the recovery, deplete our military, sow racist and fear in the population, divide the country, lie about healthcare, which is most important to a lot of people. He lies about stuff that actually affects people. Trump lying about crowd size or the size of his wong and all that kind of stuff don't affect anybody, but lying about people's health care, lying about people's money like Obama did, and the press just let him get away with that shit, that's real shit. That's the real deal right there. When you lie about stuff that affects people's health and their money, yeah, that's the real deal right there, in my opinion, and your opinion too, because I'm pretty sure most normal people don't want nobody to lie about their health because that means life or death. Your money, which could also mean life or death, difference between eating and not eating, paying bills, not paying bills, those kind of things should piss you off because that's what he lied about. I think that lie outweighs crowd size at an inauguration. It's amazing to me. Now we have the violence. Let's talk about that because we've been away for a long time. I'm going to try to make this video a little shorter than most. The DNC never once condemned the violence in the hoods all over the country. Whether you white, black, Latino, Indian, Asian, whatever, every American should be pissed at what they see on their TV. But the press has been doing their best to tell you these are peaceful protesters. 15, 20,000 out there, no mask, no social distancing, but they want to get mad and want to try to compare it to a bunch of patriots going to the Michigan State House with their weapons holstered, weapons slung back to peacefully protest. And they call those people white nationalists and every other name you can possibly imagine, horrible name. But those people burning down other people's businesses, kicking civilians in the head and almost killing them, beating people unconscious, hitting an old woman in front of her antique store with a 2x4, knocking her out cold. Those are freaking peaceful protesters, according to CBS, ABC, MSNBC, CNN, and the rest of the Democratic propaganda wing. People getting shot is peaceful protests. Because, see, the Democrats overplayed their hand. They thought this, with COVID, was going to destroy Trump. They literally thought that if we could sow enough confusion and anger, because George Floyd and Jeff Blake just recently, those are Democrats love that when that happens because they can use that. They can use that generated hate to drive people to the polls, even though 99.9% of police shootings happen in Democrat-controlled cities. And it's amazing how, even though the city council, the police chief, the aldermen, everybody, the mayor, they're all Democrats, but they find a way to blame Trump in the press. That's every time a cop shoot, I guarantee Pelosi goes, hell yeah, we did it. Yeah, here we go. All right. That's another black man gone, but we can blame it on Trump. Yeah. That's it, baby. We're going to have them black folks, those lemmings, running to the polls to vote for us. Because they even said it out loud. Remember, Joe Biden said that black people all think alike. We don't have any diversity of thought. He also said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. They say it out loud. Because, he got dementia. I don't care nobody say it. He got dementia. Because that's the only way he would say something so politically dumb. Now, he said some politically dumb stuff in the last 47 years, but this cake the cake. This takes the cake. They say it out loud. And black people just ignore it because honestly, I don't know if black people ignore it. Because if you look at Facebook and Google, you look at Instagram, they probably don't allow people who post those videos of him saying those things to really get widespread saturation into the net. Because, they always shadow banning conservatives. They're always trying to keep our voices muffled. And they're going to do more and more of that as the time goes on for this election cycle. But I don't want to go 20 minutes. I'm trying to keep it under 20 minutes this time. But people, look, we really are at war. I mean, if you look at Kenosha, the first battle, the first shots have been fired. The Democrats ain't playing, y'all. They ain't playing. They're playing for keeps. And once conservatives realize that, I've been telling y'all that these people, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. These people are complete and utter evil. Evil incarnate. They don't give a damn about this country or your family. They just want power. They want to change this country into something that has failed miserably over the last 100 years. For every country in civilization that has tried socialism and communism, people have died by the millions, not the thousands, not the 10,000s or the 100,000s, but by the millions. Failed policies, failed types of government. They don't care because they are true blue dyed revolutionaries, and they will run over you, your family, and their community if you get in the way of them obtaining and reigning over this country and transforming it. If you don't realize that you are at war, metaphorically, and now seems to be literally, because those shots have been fired now. You think Democrats are going to stop? You see more and more Democrats bringing guns to protests. There's video after video of these idiots, these morons, these pieces of crap bringing guns, pulling them on people so that they have to turn around on their way to work in the morning because they done blocked off the highway. You've seen the videos. These people ain't playing, and we need to stop playing. And I'm going to leave it at that. You guys have a good day, and I hope you have a better tomorrow.